Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot with your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. We're all here sharing this human experience together. This is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. We do things differently here on this channel. So keep that in mind moving forward. And if the messages resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Triggering energies or messages may arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit. Also, keeping in mind, triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box below. And your time and your presence are a true blessing to me. So with that being said, let's hop to your prayer and we will get your reading underway. And the message that we're asking today is, don't you know your life's changing? And change can be uncomfortable, but it's also freeing as well. My beloved source, this prayer is for anyone and everyone that comes onto this reading, whether it's for a moment's time or for the entire time. Things are shifting. Some things are shifting incredibly fast, and other things seem to be taking their sweet time to move even a tiny little centimeter. And we're not sure. We're not sure what's next. The unknown awaits us all. And the unknown can have so many emotional responses to it. Do we respond with kind? Do we respond with anxiety and fear, worry? Do we run away? Do we approach it with our strength and our courage? Using our wisdom and the experience that we've gained thus far? Many of us don't know. Many of us don't know how we should approach it because it seems to approach us first. And in approaching us first, it leaves us wrecked with how it creates an emotional response, or more so a reaction. So today I ask that as the tides begin to shift, whether they're turbulent or softening, whether they're large or small, harsh or calm, whatever they may be, that you are the leading light for us, that you help show us the way, that you help us embrace our internal courage and remind us that no matter what arises, the good, the bad, the beautiful, or the ugly, that we are capable of facing it. And the biggest blessing of all is that we're trying. And let that be all we need to know. As these words are spoken upon this tribe and onto this reading, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. Okay. So today I felt called to using the Talisman Oracle by Nora Paskaleva. I think that's how you say her name. So we're going to see what these cards have in store for us today. Let me get them shuffled for you. Don't you know your life's changing? What oracle card is going to help us better understand these messages today, source? Don't you know your life is changing? Source, what Talisman oracle cards are going to help us better understand the message coming in today? Don't you know your life is changing? Thank you. Don't you know your life is changing? All right, pile number one. Don't you know your life is changing? What Talisman oracle card is going to help us better understand this message for pile number one today, source? Don't you know your life is changing? Thank you. All right, pile number 2. Don't you know your life is changing? Source, what talisman oracle card is going to help us better understand this message for pile number 2? Wow, your card went flying off the table. And pile number 3, don't you know your life is changing? Source, what talisman oracle card is going to help us better understand this message for pile number 3? Don't you know your life is changing? Pile number 3. What talisman oracle card is going to help us better understand this message? Thank you. Okay, collective energy on the bottom, destiny. This is the image that's on the cover of the book. Destiny. What a powerful card to come through. So whatever happens, and as this shift occurs, it's something that's meant to happen. It's something you're meant to experience. And I just want to put it out there that sometimes it's really hard, because if it's not something that's super, super positive or super, super wonderful or super, super joyful or happy, we immediately want to reject it. But there's so many things that are perceived as negative that when we reject, we're rejecting a part of ourselves, right? Life and death happen in this realm for a reason. Now, I'm not saying a death is coming, but it could be an emotional death. It could be an egoic death. It could be something along those lines, which is very uncomfortable to experience, because you're literally cracking a foundation upon which your life was built. And it becomes this playground to create something that's more stable, that is more capable of holding you up in the world from a place of structure and strength, rather than something that is full of holes and has played at resembling some sort of stability, when in reality it has not been at all. So as the tides change and as the tables turn, what's coming for you now as the collective, whether that is really positive or seemingly negative, it is something you are meant to experience. And at what point can you step back, and no matter where you're at, can you allow yourself to accept this? This is truly a part of my journey. It doesn't mean that everything we're meant to go through or experience is our destiny. What it means is that sometimes there are sanctioned situations that arise so that we can move on to the next chapter. And that could be really good, and it could be really difficult. But they both hold a shared beauty that allow us to step into a place of wonder and awe, so that we can embrace what the whole human experience is. Because if we deny the negative, we deny the positive. And if we deny the positive, we also deny the negative. And we end up running through life in a very numb type of way. And so with this message, Source is saying to open your hearts to what this situation could potentially bring into your life. And trust that no matter if it's turbulent or if it's smooth sailing, that it is bringing something of knowledge with it. It is bringing something of wisdom, and it is bringing a deeper, more profound understanding of yourself. So let's see what Destiny says from the book. Well, right there. It says social limitations and negative bias. Wow, here we go. Trick our subconscious into believing we are not able to achieve our desires. We are taught to hide our unique nature to fit into the environment around us. Those coping skills keep us safe and acclimated to avoid danger, but they rob us of our power to positive manifestation. By training the mind to pay attention to the positive, we feed our subconscious mind the belief that we can create our destiny and propel ourselves forward. Our minds can be free when we use this key that we've carried on our back all along. We own the power to change the narrative. It says, use this card when you need to shake the negative thoughts that are holding you back. We can't control the actions of others, but we can change our perspective. Envision having a chain of keys and try a few to unlock the cage. How does it feel to finally find the right key? Feel the presence of the cage and the armor dissolve as you notice the gentle breeze of freedom on your skin. And it says, I'm free. And for those of you, there's an asterisk by the negative bias. It says, a negative bias is our tendency to remember the negative far greater than the positive. Studies show that remembering negative experience exhibits in a ratio as little as 3-to-1 and as large as 30-to-1. We have to make a conscious effort to override the patterns. And this is on page number 4. So again, strength, structure, and stability coming through here with this message. We're trying to break down these faulty foundations that have held precedence in our lives. And sometimes, again, when we're talking about negative in general, it's not about pushing out the negative as much as it is accepting that there's so much that's outside of our control, right? Bad things are going to happen in the world because it happens here. But also it means that good things are going to happen in the world because that's what happens here. Miracles exist. But if we're only focused on staying 100% in a positive mindset all the time without ever experiencing the negative, we're making ourselves numb and we're actually closing ourselves off to seeing the worldly experience as it is. So this is already a profound message. And isn't that interesting? I rolled these dice before I started and we got 4 and 4 and it was on page 44. Oh my goodness. So 4 might be a number that follows you everywhere. It might mean something to you. You could be 44 now. You could have been born on April 4th. You could have been born on August 4th as well as coming in. Some very specific messages. All right, making sure we're in frame. Okay, so for pile number 1, we do have this dice with the 4th house on it for you to choose from. Or we have this beautiful piece of garnet. Pile number 2, we have this dice with Uranus on it. I'm sorry, this is Pluto. I'm having a moment. Human moment. This is Pluto. Transformation, death and rebirth. Or this quartz crystal shard. Or pile number 3, we have this dice with the 4th house on it. Or we have this piece of yellow jasper for you to choose from. Pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Whichever pile you feel drawn to, that should be the one for you, and I will see you over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 4th house on it, or if this garnet called out to you, I have dust on my hand, some ash. Or perhaps you were called to this card during the shuffle. This is going to be your reading, and don't you know Your life's changing. We're all here sharing this human experience together. This is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And we do things differently here. With that being said, if it resonates, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Also, triggering statements may arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit. But remember that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. And your time and your presence today are a true blessing for me. So let's hop to it. Pile number 1. Don't you know your life's changing? Source, what would you like to bring through today? Pile number 1. Don't you know your life's changing? Source, what messages do you have for us today? The 12th house, Pisces, and the sun. So you could be a Pisces or have Pisces highly aspect in your chart. 12th house stellium coming through. You could also, depending on the energy of the reading, be dealing with a Pisces. I'm not getting third party energy just yet. But don't you know your life's changing? Here's the thing. You're about to face a part of yourself that you felt like you had faced before. You felt like you had overcome this before. You felt like you had gotten through this 100 times already. But it feels like this is coming up from the depths of your soul. You're really digging into the subconscious here. And there's something that's healing in such a profound way that you yourself are changing physically. This is like a metamorphosis of some sorts, where you're literally, the way you look is changing. Something in your eyes are changing. The way your face is shaped is changing. The way your hair is changing. And it's a profound change, which is also going to branch out in how you approach others. So I'm hearing that there's many people here who might feel like you're going through a characteristics change. Like maybe you were really super, super bubbly and all of a sudden you're becoming more stoic. Or you're going from being really stoic to being more bubbly. This is the extreme that we're seeing here. But it doesn't have to be quite that extreme. It could just fall somewhere on that spectrum, where maybe you were always going out of your way to talk to strangers, to talk to people, and now you don't talk to as many people or as many strangers. Or you don't share a lot about your own story anymore unless people ask, where before maybe you were sharing it all the time. But what's changing is there's some form of your spiritual journey that is opening up like a book, and the knowledge that you're receiving is pouring into you like an overflowing of waterfall energy. Here is what I'm seeing. And it's just pouring into you. And so there's like snap decisions that are happening. There's snap integrations that are happening. There is discernment that's happening at a much deeper level. There's an understanding that's coming in. This really feels like everything that's happening right now is just a constant feed from source. And through that, you're going to be stepping into a powerful time where your psychic senses are literally the antenna upon which you touch the world. You're no longer seeing with your regular 5 senses. You're seeing with the psychic abilities now. And it could be very intimidating for a lot of people. In fact, I feel like you're going to notice a lot of people react differently to your energy. Just even you being in the room. And also remembering that even if it is intimidating to those people, it's just you drawing closer to this place of wisdom within you and being unbothered by the outside world. Wow, what a deep reading already. Let's dig in. And this is something that you could have intuitively been called to know. Like, it's funny because I started and I had ash on my fingers because I was dusting it off the table. And, you know, thinking of ash, it's like rising again from the ashes right now. You've burned your old self. It no longer exists. And so now you're opening up to what emerges from that ash. And you could say it's your true self. I feel like what's happening is the evolution of self. That's what it feels like more than anything. So don't you know your life's changing, pile one? Okay, thank you. Don't you know your life's changing? So other thing, I don't feel like you're going to have to work to really connect with people anymore because not everybody's going to be willing to get this deep. There is no more surface level, hey, how's the weather type energy with you. Like, it just doesn't exist. This is about going in and you're going to be seeing people for their energetic output. And they're going to recognize that right away. So they're going to want to recoil and run away. Okay, so we're getting the Fool and the Eight of Wands. I'm going to use the Eight of Wands as a clarifier. And we have one who really likes to honk the horn today. But he's still going, or I should say they're still going, because I don't know if they're guys or girls, or if they're non-binary, I don't know. But they're still going. Sometimes whoever it is honks it, you know, like 3 times, and then there's other people who are just, woo, I'm honking the horn, you know, I'm sure it's fun. I'm sure it's fun. Yeah, there's this where you're feeling hopeless. I feel the thing is with the star being at the center of the reading here, in the reverse, there's a lot of hopelessness right now. You could be feeling really almost depressed. Everything is heavy. Everything is difficult. It's difficult to get out of bed. It's difficult to inspire yourself or motivate yourself to do what you feel is right for your journey. It's difficult. It feels like my feet are dragging always. But the disciplined part of yourself is what's like forcing you through this difficult emotional overload. And it could have to do with money, like where you're making money or where you're putting your efforts at in money. Yeah, you're seeing it differently now. So before it was all about coming up into this boss or CEO type energy or really having everything at your disposal. And now that whatever it was that fueled you to make material gains, it's almost like it's DOA, right? Like it's just gone. And you keep asking yourself, like, why was I chasing that? What was so inspiring about that? Or what was so calling about that? Like, what kept calling me to that? And it's scary because you almost feel you've taken steps backward. Like, I just don't feel driven anymore. I don't feel like I'm able to do what I want to do anymore. Even though I have this idea in mind, it's almost as if everything you ever went towards, you're questioning why. What's the purpose? What's the purpose of money? I know it's something you need to live on, but what's the true purpose of money? What's the true purpose of material belongings? What's the true purpose of chasing a goal? What's the true purpose of having a dream? Does any of it have a purpose? Does any of it belong? And what if it doesn't have a purpose? What does that mean? And that's what it feels like. It's like you're asking these deep questions and you don't have answers, but just pondering them or thinking on them is just creating a lot of expansion but also the resistance from the emotional ego is coming in. And it's scary because what you had felt was something that was so sure, like, I'm going towards this goal because of whatever reason was, because of. The because of just doesn't hold as much weight as it did maybe when you started. And so questioning that now, it's like, do I still put forth this same effort? And I feel like you're doing the effort because of the discipline. You become so consistent and disciplined on the journey that that's what's beating away this hopelessness. Like, look at him holding the wand up to the star in the reverse. It's like, come at me twisted, and I'm just going to beat you away with my consistency. And then we'll see where it goes. But the more you keep going consistently on the journey, you're glad for those steps. But the more you're filled with worry and anxiety, because it's almost as if the more steps you take, the more you ponder on this, what is the meaning? This feels really deep. And that's why. And I feel like there's something here that this worry is creating an opportunity for you. It's creating a place of, we were talking about evolution and growth, but it's bringing in so much. It's not even wisdom. This is you asking a question that scares the living daylights out of you, and it's facing a fear. But it's like facing that fear is what opens the door to being unattached to the outcome. And that's how your life is changing. And it's setting up the runway for brand new opportunity. Something that you're being pushed towards. Like, there's no stopping this. There was no stopping this. There was always you getting to this point on your journey. It was always bound to happen. But you put down all your worldly belongings, right? And look, I love this because this stick that he's carrying is actually also a spoon. I don't know if you can see that. Right? It's also a spoon. So you picked up your spoon and you have the bare minimum with you. And you're like, can I survive on this bare minimum that everybody is convinced that we cannot? Can I survive on, the little that I have? Can I live within my means? Do I really have to strive for all this recognition? Do I really have to strive for all of this money? Do I really have to strive for all these things? What's the point of even striving? Whoa, okay, so I just have the biggest deja vu going on right now. And it started as I put the cards down. So it's this confirmation that this is playing out. This is played out multiple times where you got to the point of asking this question, but the fear of asking this question is what stopped. And that's why this is something that has been going on for multiple lives, or this has been something that's happened many times already on your journey. And every time before this, you've been too afraid to ask the question, to wait for the answer. And now you're just waiting for the answer, waiting for the guidance. But the fear and the anxiety still does creep up. But what your life's changing because of this. You're integrating, I don't even want to call it knowledge or wisdom, because this is integration of evolution. That's what this feels like. It's the soul is evolving. It's not wisdom. This is not knowledge. This is not wisdom. This is you having experienced life to this point, and your life brought you to this moment, which in turn brought this question. Nothing else would have brought you to this question except for the events that have played out the way that they have. And that's why it's not necessarily wisdom. It's not even necessarily guidance. It's like your soul has had this burning desire to know this question. But every time it reached the conscious mind, the emotional ego was shoving it down. So this question's been with you your whole life. And your life's changing because you now have opened the gates. And by you opening the gates, it's opening up opportunities before you. Yeah, Scorpio. Intensity, exposing, purging, and renewing. Yeah, this is shadow work at its finest, but it's coming from the subconscious. It's coming from the soul. This is something that it's scary, right? Facing those fears. And in turn, taking back your power from something that you thought held precedence over you for some time. Don't you know your life's changing? Thank you. On the bottom, we have Immistar and Diamond. Number 11. Immistar is spoken. Come to me in the temple of eternal purity. Let me fill your view of the future with a rosy light. Yeah, it's like you're seeing life for the first time for what it is and not through some diluted version of what everyone else told you it had to be. And it's by asking, what's the purpose? You know, asking that question is oftentimes what sparks a spiritual awakening. But it's not asking it just to induce this spiritual awakening. It's just, this is something that you felt so called to do. We have the golden solar dragon. Helps you to stand in your masculine power with wisdom. Let your DNA be reprogrammed and light codes activate. Become an inspired leader. Yeah, so this is an activation. That's what it is. That's why I didn't want to call it wisdom or knowledge, because this is an activation. This isn't even an initiation. This is you being activated in a way that no other path would have activated you. We have the gold and silver violet flame dragon. Transmutes the old around you with wisdom and grace. It's time for transmutation, magic, and healing. Offers services under grace. Yeah, see the transformation. This is healing. You're healing. Coming into a time of inner standing and understanding of yourself and the journey around you. Don't you know your life's changing? All right, so on the bottom, we have Gemini, change your mind. That's it. There's something you've put your blood, sweat, and tears into. And for many of you, you're going to be changing your direction. You're literally putting down the torch. You're putting down the baton. Right? You're putting it down. You don't want to run in this relay anymore. You don't. And so changing your mind, you're changing directions, you're changing the way you want to go. And you're scared because, of course, why wouldn't you be scared? Right? I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, you shouldn't be scared. No, it is scary. To make a life-changing decision like this, it's absolutely terrifying. But I will tell you this, that it can bring rewards that you didn't even know existed. All right, I want one more. This one flipped over, and I'll tell you what it is in just a minute. Don't you know your life's changing? Okay. On the bottom, we have anniversary, birthday, holiday, and important day. So this is going to mark a change for you into the future. And I feel like you're going to always remember the day that your life changed. Destiny came out. And I just quickly have to point out that if you did not catch the collective message at the beginning of the reading, it's timestamped down below. For the collective message, we got the Destiny card on the bottom of the deck. So already synchronistic to how we started the reading. Okay, we have responsibility, road, and shackles. You're freeing yourself from some sort of cage. And it might not necessarily be even changing jobs or like moving somewhere or getting rid of a relationship. This could be something like a mind change, right? Like a mindset or a paradigm that you're letting go of. Some old foundation that you're just tired of lugging it around, and you're like, I'm just going to leave it right there. Goodbye, good luck. I hope we never see each other again, but thanks for what you did and peace out. Right? And that's what this feels like you're putting down something. So it doesn't have to be a huge move. Although with the Knight of Wands here, it can absolutely indicate that there's some sort of move. Like you're moving cities, you're moving towns. But I feel like this is something that's been instigated by this question that you asked. What is the point? What is the purpose? And it's not even looking for your own purpose any longer. This is just about what is the purpose of life? Like, why am I doing this? Why am I striving? Why am I chasing? Like, what does all that mean? Sagittarius, optimism, exploration, and freedom. And so you're freeing yourself from the rat race is what I'm hearing. Wow. And we have earth sign. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn with persistence, patience, and practicality. You're learning to rebuild the stability in your life. It's like understanding what you truly desire and going towards it, but it's not about striving for it anymore. It's just going in that direction and saying it's okay for me to go in that direction. I don't have to strive for anything. Aphrael and Beletza, we have a fresh wind is blowing into your life. Believe in your divine guidance and recognize all the gifts along your path. And isn't it interesting that you got both dragons on your card on this deck were white dragons? So there's a purifying of the soul. I'm going to leave this out because I feel like that's really synchronistic here. White is purity, divine connection. Didn't I say that you were going to be so connected with the divine that things were just going to, it's like no longer are you questioning yourself. I might have said that in the general reading too, but I know that came out at some point. Or the collective reading. There's just this energy here with this sort of purifying of the soul. Whatever it was that was holding you back, it's not going to hold you back anymore. Your destiny is to free yourself. We have lunar eclipse. Yeah, out with the old. Yeah, this energy is very clear. Letting go of the old, coming into this space of the new. But who are you as the new? Are you actually something new, or are you what you've always been destined to become? And that's what you get to find out. Surprise. Yeah, exactly. There's no yes or no, right or wrong to this. It's just you get to figure that out. You're being reborn. Unexpected, another way, beyond imagination. I feel like you making this shift in yourself is going to bring so many things that you just only imagined. And you realize that if you kept going down the same way or thinking the same way or believing in the same way as before, you realize it would have just been a dead end, and it would have always led you back to this question to ask. And so you had to get really comfortable being very uncomfortable. So let's take a look at this card. I'm going to read this from the book. Good luck. Look with the ladybug here. Yeah, good luck is coming your way. That's what I'm saying. Like, no other path would have brought you here, but now that you're on this path, there's no getting off of it. There's no, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore. There's none of that. None of that. You have to stay on this path now, and that means that there's going to be certain things that you have to go through. So it says, good luck. Luck is with you and with everything you touch. It's a very positive card that indicates growth and increased potential, right? Evolution is coming. The currents are in your favor, and if you act upon your wishes, you will benefit greatly. It's up to you to channel this good fortune. The circles on the card form the number 8. 8 is an auspicious number and the symbol of new beginnings, right? Another way unexpected, but the egg represents a new beginning. Fate will take a strong hand and redirect your path in a very positive way. What you do after this shift is in your own hands. It says use this card when you need a little extra stardust for your projects and ventures. You can also use this card if you're feeling a bit short of luck. Imagine the circles spinning slowly, and the ladybug fluttering around the flowers. You're attracting them, and you'll feel their tickling feet land in your hand and the magic swirling all around. The affirmation is, I attract good luck. So incredibly powerful energy that's coming in here for you. And your life's changing for the better. Ultimately, it will be your choice how you move forward. But it is changing for the better and opening up to that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you're going through a metamorphosis and you're not going to be the same person you were. Even if today you're like, I'm not the same person I was before anyways. It's going to be such a massive shift that people are going to notice it. They're just going to see it. It's going to be so palpable. It's not like, I can't quite put my finger on it. People are just going to be like, wow, you're really different, pile one. So this is what I see here for you today. If you feel like this is your reading, leave the little ladybug emoji down below and say, I choose to open up the cage that has been holding me back and release myself of the burden of the past so that I can step into my good luck and fortune now. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything in the description box. With that, I would like to take this moment to thank your guides, your spirit guides, your messengers, source, my spirit guides for coming together today to give us this very powerful message. And until next time, pile number one, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Pluto on it, or if you happen to be called to this crystal quartz shard, dust on my hands. I was reaching in to get a mint, and I guess I got dust on my hands. Or if perhaps you were called to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your reading on Don't You Know Your Life's Changing. We're all here sharing this human experience, and this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. We do things differently here on this channel. So with that in mind, if the messages do resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Triggering statements may arise on the reading itself. There's no obligation to force it to fit. And remembering that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. So with that, let's go ahead and hop to it and know that your time and your presence today is a true blessing to me. Don't you know your life's changing, pile number two? Don't you know your life's changing? Source, what messages do you have for pile number two today? 12th house, big contender today. We've got Capricorn and Mercury. Don't you know your life's changing? I just heard Dream a Dream. I think that's a song. I do not know who sings that. But Dream a Dream. There's something here that you're ready to talk about, to share with people. It's something that you felt incredibly restricted on. You felt like, even though this is a part of me, or this is a part of what I want to share with people, or this is a part of what I want to honor within myself, there was a bigger part of you that was convincing you that no one is going to accept this, that everyone was going to have a problem with it. And your life is changing because this is something that's incredibly healing. There's a lot of blame and guilt that surrounds this part of yourself. So it could be a gift that you have. It could be a way that you view the world. It could be a different type of job that you would like to get into. It could be a relationship that you have. It could be anything. But there's something here that you're ready to talk about. You're ready to share. And the reason you want to share is because you realize and see that the world needs this. It needs to hear what you have to say. And you're seeing yourself from a very sound place of value. But it had to come to this point. Like, there was no realizing this part of yourself needs to be expressed until you came to this place of valuing and honoring yourself. And this was really hard, but that came from a lot of practice and patience and discipline and consistency for your journey yourself and where it is that you're headed, where you're wanting to go. This could be something that's spiritual. This could be a psychic ability that's coming through. This could be something to do with the mental health industry. It's the way you see something in this type of environment that you're not seeing really shared anywhere else. And it's giving you freedom to share that yourself, to be a pioneer is what I'm getting. And I feel like that's the gate that's opening for you. Pile number 2 is to be a pioneer in this. That's what Source wants for you. Don't you know your life's changing, pile number 2? Okay, Source, what else would you like to share with us here? There's a lot of peer pressure. I feel like a lot of people had a lot to say about when you would share this part of yourself, or you would share this idea or this thought process. There were people who were against it. There were people who had something, oh no, that's not going to work, or whatever it was. They made you question yourself and doubt yourself. But you're seeing that it's this way of viewing life that has brought you as far as it has. Don't you know your life's changing? Yeah, it's something you're incredibly passionate about. It's also bringing you a lot of stability in the material world. But you really love this. Whatever this part is about yourself, you maybe you didn't love it at first, but you're falling more and more in love with it as time goes. Don't you know your life's changing? Yeah. Perseverance. The rejection, it's like overcoming the rejection. What else, Source? For pile number 2. Don't you know your life's changing? This card came out 4 times while I was shuffling. In the upright, in the reverse, in the upright. It also started on the bottom of the deck when I started shuffling. So the Pope wanted to be seen in your reading. We have the 10 of Cups in the reverse. Yeah. Like, you see everything you're overcoming. You're overcoming this being held back, restricted by this idea or this whatever it is you want to take action on, being held back, being in a state of conforming to what everyone else wants, recognizing that that was creating a lot of emotional distress for you. You knew that people needed to talk about it, but it was almost as if you were waiting for someone else to open the door instead of being the one who opened the door first. And finding that kind of bravery, pile 2, is incredibly profound. So celebrating this is important, because this is something where it's, I'll just wait until someone else does it, and you recognize that I have to be the one to do it. That's not something that just anybody can do. Okay? But now you're taking action. You're seeing each one of these as the obstacles they are, but not as the defeat that you once thought it was. And now you're able to face everything in the world as it comes. Yeah, I'm the Fool on the bottom, underneath the 10 of Cups. There's been a lot of people been cruel to you. There's been a lot of people been really cold to you. But you're taking this new venture and not looking back. Like, look, I'm going to be the one who opens this door. Like, if you all want to keep playing the same games that everybody's been playing up until this point, then go for it. But I'm not going to be that person. And why is your life changing? It's changing because you're gaining a new outlook about yourself, a new appreciation for yourself, and speaking a truth that you felt you were going to hide until you went into the ground. And that's not how it's going to be anymore. You're letting your voice ring out. Whether people accept it or not, it's the want to have to be able to say this is overruling whether or not people accept it or not. And that's what's so scary, right? That's scary. Because it means that you're going to have to put up with the trolls and the naysayers and the people who have opinions that are louder than loud. But it also means that you're going to have people who accept what it is that you're doing and who are grateful that you're the one that chose to open the door. Not everybody's going to like you, but that's okay. And I feel like that's something that's massive for you, Pile 2, to say. It's like to be in a state of being okay with not everybody liking you. Because I do get a sense, especially with the 12th house coming here, that you at one point had people-pleasing tendencies and the fear of rejection outweighed the desire to create the life you wanted. And that's not what you're seeing anymore. You're recognizing that the desire to be authentically who you are, it's what's tipping the scales here. It doesn't mean you're not going to have hard times. And it means that because you're being so authentic to yourself, that those hard times are not going to weigh on you like they once did. They're not going to be so magnified. They're not going to be so overwhelming. Especially when it comes to the worries and the fears of fitting in. There's a song by, what is it, the Deftones and I think it's called Fly. It's like, I don't want to be like them. That's a line, I can't remember the whole song, but they sang Dance Monkey. That's the song that I think they're most well known for, is Dance Monkey. But the song that is coming to mind right now is Fly by Deftones and I. And it's like she's asking this question. It's like, is it bad that I don't want to be like them? And the thing is that she's recognizing that I don't want to. Like, no matter what, I don't want to be like them. I don't want to be like the world out there. I don't want to be what everyone thinks I should be. I want to be who I am. Check it out. It's a good song. It's a really upbeat song. But I feel like that's what's changing for you, and that's what's going to change your life in a really positive way. And not just positive, but in an empowering way. Okay, this is the one that wants to come through. Mutable, yep. Surrender, fluidity, and welcoming change. Exactly. Gemini, Virgo, Sag, and Pisces, you're opening yourself up to this. I feel like for many times, if this came in at other times in your life, you were really quick to push it away. Like, but people aren't going to accept me. People aren't going to like that. I'm not going to get as much attention if I do that. But I think what Source is saying here is that it's not about how much attention you're getting. It's about the kind of attention you're getting. Because the way you see life, or whatever it is you want to share, is something that people need. And you know people need it. But I don't think up until this point, you actually recognized how you've been holding gold in your hand all along. And the only way for you to see that is to overcome the fear and face that by putting it out there. Maybe at first it won't take off, but it's going to be like rolling a snowball down a hill where it's going to build over time. We have the cat joker. The time has come for action. You will receive all only by being prepared to give all. Yeah, that's what Source is saying. This is not about the amount of attention you get. It's about the type of attention you get. Lilac Fire Dragon. Transmute through the power of divine love. Okay, this is a key to your spiritual growth. Open up to the transcendent love and enlightenment. Purity of heart brings peace, hope, and joy. Yeah, this is reconnecting with the purity of your soul and opening your heart and honoring what you desire outside of what everyone's telling you should desire, right? And that's a big thing. Silver lunar dragon bathes you in the divine feminine light. Says, come into balance and practice peace, harmony, and cooperation. Expand your causal chakra. And your causal chakra is right behind the throat. It's actually where the occiput is. So like if you feel back where your neck meets your skull, there's a little bump right there on the back of your head that's called the occiput. That is where your causal chakra, if I can talk, is. But it actually resides outside of our body. And the more you come into balance and connect with your spiritual divine gifts and you're spiritually empowering yourself, the more you're pulling that chakra into the body. And that's the goal, is we want to pull that into the body. And that's how we connect with our divine feminine, our ability to receive. All right. Don't you know your life's changing? Mars, jump into action. Yeah, this is all about the action you're taking. So you're not holding back anymore. You're not worried about what it's going to bring. You're just like, look, I'm just going to start doing it and see what happens. A good affirmation for you, pile number 2, might be, show me how good it gets. Like asking source that. Show me how good it gets. We have the 9th house. Expand your point of view. Yeah. You are opening up to a whole cosmos of differences by doing this. And it's going to impact a lot of people in ways that I feel like are going to be a huge surprise for you. Don't you know your life's changing? Don't you know your life's changing? Well, okay, these cards. This one wants to come through. Don't you know your life's changing? Whoa, exam. This was a test. It was a part of your life's test, right? With exam, diagnostics, certifications, election registration. You have the life experience to certify you to bring this into the world. You have to trust yourself with this. And this is going to change your life by preparing you to teach, to lead, and to inspire others. You're going from this place of feeling small with the 10 of Cups and the Pope together here to becoming a spiritual, emotional leader of sorts based on your actions. Empty, clean, purify, empty, and practice. Yeah, so this is a cleansing of your soul. Freeing up from the sticky junk that's been holding you back and making you feel like you have to fit into some idea that wasn't ever yours to hold on to. You're letting it go. We have Taurus here. Trust, patience, and sensuality. So also trusting the process. Like I was saying earlier, is that you might not see immediate results. However, I do feel like you're going to feel immediate results. Like you're going to experience a lightening of the heart, more vitality, more strength by doing this. But physically in that material world, you might not see immediate results, but it will be a process. And that process, when you trust in it, it's just the snowball's been kicked down the hill, but the hill's not very steep yet, right? It's just kind of almost flat, but just enough of an incline that the snowball's rolling. It's just not rolling very fast just yet, but eventually it'll reach a cliff where it just flies off and turns into something massive. That's what they're showing me. We have 21 with the Sun God and Ezra. Free yourself from lies and deceptions and live your truth. I cannot make this energy up, but it's very clear. Shine in your own light. Other people's truths are of no use to you. That's it. You're letting go of other people's truths. You're saying, this is not mine to hold on to. This is not mine to live. I want to live by my own truth. Right? And I do feel like you might start to feel an activation within your solar plexus chakra, or all of a sudden you might start losing a lot of weight. Like if it's not something that you're striving really hard for, but sometimes when we activate our solar plexus chakra, we'll start to get really fit around our core. And it's because we're taking that action. It's the spiritual energy that is creating a lot of resistance within our muscles. And so our muscles are reacting to that. And this is a really weird energy that's coming in already, but going with it here, that's what they're saying. It's just like you might all of a sudden lose a lot of weight or a couple of pounds, or suddenly your abs might feel a lot stronger. And that's that activation that's happening. Timing. Deadline, synchronization, rhythm, and movement. Okay, wow. So this is all about timing. This could only happen when you decided to put down the want to belong. So if you decided, pile 2, your whole life, you wanted to belong, like that was something that was more important to you than being authentic to yourself, then it would have never happened. The tables would have never turned here. The timeline would have never changed. But there's something that's happening here where you're tired. It's like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm tired of people telling me, I have the hiccups all of a sudden, who I'm supposed to be, or what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, people actually know who I am when no one knows who you are. So there's this weighing of the options that's happening. And the scale is starting to tip in your favor. And at first, it might feel incredibly uncomfortable, but it's tipping in a way that is pushing you to be true to yourself, to really be true to yourself, okay? So we're going to take a look at this card. I'm going to read this from the book. Cast away negativity. Yeah, you're no longer, like, it's almost though you're the knife here, or what is the word for it? Yeah, we're just going to go with knife because I can't think of the other word right now. It's not coming through. It's what they use in witchcraft. And you know, even if you're not into witchcraft or anything, but there's a certain name for this type of tool. And if you know what it is, you can absolutely comment it down below. But it's just totally slipping my mind right now. But what they're showing me, it's like you're the knife. And everybody else is the serpent. And we see that this is a rattlesnake here, right? Like, look at the tail. You see the rattles on the tail. And you recognize that before you felt like you were in danger because this rattlesnake was closing in on you. It was wrapping itself around you. It was choking you off. But what's happening now is you're seeing your own power, your own strength. And this is how your life is changing. You're recognizing that you're the tool upon which others fear for themselves, and not in a way of like, oh my gosh, I'm scared of life, or I'm scared of pile number 2. It's just, I'm not going to mess with pile 2 in this way anymore because pile 2 is standing in their strength. And so I don't know what's going to happen if I try to mess around with pile number 2 because it's going to be a guess, right? But you're going to fight back for yourself. Let's see, cast away negativity. And that is where this change is coming from. You're not going to feel small anymore. So I'm going to put this here. So it says, choose carefully your friends and the people you surround yourself with. At times, you may need to temporarily distance yourself from the people who cannot see your vision and are not in a place to understand your opinion and feelings. Allow them time to grow stronger and try to see why they feel vulnerable. The rose in the snake's mouth represents kindness. Soften the negative words and thoughts by adopting a positive attitude. Consider whether it's more important to be right or to build a happy and peaceful presence. With a bit of kindness, you might be able to turn the currents in your favor. Playing games is not the path you want to take now. The sword in this card is a symbol of the protective power, but also of honor and justice. It says use this card when you need to release negative energy that may be blocking you. Keep this card near when you're trying to grow stronger and rise above resentful eyes. Look at the snake on the card and imagine it hissing. Suddenly its tongue turns out into a beautiful rose and the snake becomes calmer and falls asleep. The affirmation is, I set my boundaries with kindness. Yeah, so you're just realizing now that it's like, fine if you guys have an opinion on what I should be, but that's not who I'm gonna be. And you're also saying that I want to stand up because I feel like I have this thing to offer to the world. And with that, there's going to be some acknowledgement that's coming. Now, is it going to be worldwide fame? I mean, it could be, but probably for most of you, it's not going to be that massive as much as it is just this massive shift within you that's going to affect your world in a very positive way. And that's a beautiful thing. Don't knock the small steps, right? The small steps are as profound as the gigantic leaps. And oftentimes it's those small steps that actually mean more to us than the big leaps, okay? So this is what I see here for you today, pile number 2. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little sword. I think there's a sword emoji. Leave a little sword emoji down below and say, I cut through the old feelings that I had of lack and poverty. And in doing so, I free myself to step into an empowered state of well-being. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you will find everything you need in the description box. With that, I would like to take this moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angels, source, my spirit guides for coming together to give us this truly powerful message today, pile number 2. And until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 4th house on it, or perhaps you were called to this piece of yellow jasper, or you might have been called to this card during the shuffle. This is going to be a reading on Don't You Know Your Life is Changing. We are all here sharing this human experience together. This is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. We do things differently here on this channel. So that in mind, if it resonates, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Triggering statements may arise on the reading itself. There's no obligation to force it to fit. However, keeping in mind that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. Your time and your presence are a true blessing today. So let's go ahead and get to it and find out. Don't you know your life's changing? Pile number 3. Source, what would you like to share with us today? Don't you know your life's changing? Pile number 3. Source, what would you like to come through? I feel like there's like a leadership position or something. So you're about to step up into a leadership situation. We have the 2, or the 2. Okay, we've got the 2nd house. We've got Libra and we've got Uranus. Yeah, something's shifting here in how you're caring for yourself, but also how you're presenting yourself to others. So there's something here that's going to be a big change for you, where there's going to be sudden progression. Okay, so leadership is coming in. That was the message I heard while I was shuffling, or while I was rolling the dice. Leadership. Okay, so maybe you applied for a leadership management position, or you're trying to be seen as a leader in your industry, or whatever the situation is, or whatever that means to you. There's this stepping up into that role and recognizing that if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to show up for others in that way, right? Sometimes life gets so hectic and we're so quick to want to grow and change, and we want things to happen so fast that we forget how important it is to take care of ourselves, right? With the 2nd house here, it's you're seeing your value and your worth and realizing that I'm the one that's bringing this forward. So I have to be right within myself in order to bring this forward. Otherwise, things just aren't going to work. Especially with Libra here. This is a balancing of work and life. This is a balancing of relationships, and alone time. This is a balancing of fun and work, like however you look at it, right? Finding that balance, that harmony within your journey so that you can truly show up in the best way possible, giving yourself all the opportunities that you can with the energy that you have. And there are going to be days when you're dragging, and there are going to be days when you have an exorbitant amount of energy, and it's going with the flow. Like, you're not holding yourself to some unrealistic expectation any longer, although it still might arrive where you're like, oh, I have all these goals that I have to get to. And so you might have some unrealistic goals set for yourself. But as you get into your day, you're like, you know what? I'm going to focus on the main ones right now, and then I'm going to leave all those other ones for later. And you end up getting a lot done. But I do feel like you're seeing now that it's unrealistic to set so many goals or have so many priorities. What are the main ones, right? Because sometimes we get so caught up in the, I look better if I have a bigger checklist, and you're seeing the, I feel better when I have a smaller checklist, and that's starting to impact you in a more positive way. But also that comes from being in the leadership position too, because if you don't have the energy to face everybody, you're not going to be as proficient. And that's what you're looking at. It's like, I want to be a proficient leader. I want to be able to do that for others. Community service is coming through. Some kind of public service industry. I'm also hearing childcare services, something along those lines. So there's like some sort of really helping others. It could be the healthcare industry as well, but I'm really hearing those like social services, community service, something along that lines, like where you're helping people who are less fortunate or who don't have a means of protecting themselves. That's what this feels like. But it could be anything. All right. Don't you know your life's changing? Pile number 3. Okay, thank you. Don't you know your life's changing? Leo energy is coming out. You could have Leo sun. Leo in the 6th house. Yeah, Leo energy here. Stepping into a leadership position. Don't you know your life's changing? Whoa, that card flying in. Don't you know your life's changing? Don't you know your life's changing? So there's either your own negative thoughts and feelings that have been affecting your ability to step into this position, or you've been surrounded by really negative people. Or the 4 of Wands in the reverse on the bottom. This is a really negative lover. Just to be super specific, that's what the cards are saying at face value. Is this could be a really negative spouse, a really negative boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, like just super down and out. This could be someone you live with as well. A Debbie Downer. I don't know, what do you call it? A Derek Downer for guys? I don't know, whatever. But someone who's just really, everything that you do that's positive, they always have something negative to say. Like, they can't just be like, yeah, that's really cool. I'm so glad you did that. Or it's really awesome that you did that. It's always like, yeah, that's good, but, and then all their excuses or reasons come in as well. So that's what you've been dealing with. And I feel like that's been really hard for you because you want to help people and you want to give back to people. And what's changing is how you see your value. You're not focusing on how this person feels about you anymore. Because it does feel like how this person saw you for a long time mattered because you cared about them so much, right? But something switched and you're able to see now that this person doesn't have anything positive to say, but they're going to say anything negative anyways, and I can't let that affect how I see myself. Yeah, so there's this emotional healing that's happening. Realizing that that came from something way back in your childhood, the mother wound is healing here, but nurturing yourself with the moon, this is taking care of your emotional well-being. Well, not giving a flying rat's patoot whether or not it sits well or right with everyone else, because it doesn't matter. You taking care of you is the number one thing here, and it's you taking care of you that helps you to overcome this negative energy. You taking care of you is what helps you to be present with whatever it is that you're offering for others, the leadership that you're bringing to others. You taking care of you gives you peace of mind. Whether that works for anybody else, it doesn't matter. And that's what we're seeing here. There's a lot of seeing how there's mirrored paths here, or this is you physically visualizing or seeing the mirror back to you. The reason this person is in your life and is so negative is because maybe you've been really negative with yourself, right? Like you're seeing the physical manifestation of how you were treating yourself internally, or you're seeing the physical manifestation of a childhood wound coming into fruition to be faced. And being faced doesn't necessarily mean fighting it tooth and nail. It means that sometimes it's just being faced as saying, like, I don't identify with that anymore. And that's facing it, right? It's like, I don't identify with that anymore, and here's the reasons why I don't identify with that anymore, and I'm not in that situation anymore. Family. Yeah, this is family, close family. Yeah, and you're actually going to be connecting with people who are going to feel more like family than whoever this person is. This could be an Aries, a Libra, an Aquarius, a Pisces, a Scorpio. You could have Scorpio in the 6th house, the 5th house, Leo in the 8th, Aquarius in the 8th house, Sagittarius or Pisces in the 9th house is coming through, and Taurus in the 4th house is coming out. So here's the thing, like, this is showing that you're letting go of holding on to the opinions of someone here. This could be a father figure as well with the Pope, but it doesn't have to be. It could be a mother, it could be a grandfather, someone, again, that you just hold in high regards or have held in high regards. Like how you held this person, though, what's changing is that you no longer hold this position of respect for this person. It's not that you're trying to disrespect them or be ruthless to them or cruel or malicious. You're just seeing that they didn't deserve the high honor that you had given them for so long. And through that, you're finding a deeper sense of self and well-being and letting go of holding on to every little negative thing that this person has done in your life. Because I do feel like there's a lot of resentment that's built up here. And when you realize that this person didn't deserve the high station that you had placed them at, it's as though the resentment becomes untwisted and untangled. And you no longer hold resentment for this person because you see they could have never been anybody but who they were. Because if they could have been somebody that they weren't already, they would have been. Rather than saying, well, they should have known better, you're seeing that they didn't know better, and that's why they didn't show up differently. And so that's what's untangling the resentment, is seeing the situation for what it is and not trying to impose your own beliefs or your own thoughts onto it the way that people or the way that this person maybe imposed their thoughts and opinions onto you, which you at one point took very seriously. Now you're asking yourself, what matters to me? So you're learning to take your own thoughts and feelings and opinions seriously for yourself. Don't you know your life's changing? Pile number 3. Thank you, Source. Exhausted. I'm so exhausted right now, pile 3. Like, I was fine when I started this reading, but I got to your pile and the exhaustion was real. So I feel like that's because that's what you're going through right now, is just sheer exhaustion. Like, trying to open your eyes is sometimes a chore. It's like, I'd just rather sleep. I want to curl up in my bed and sleep until I cannot sleep anymore. I need to rest. And that's also another reason why the moon's here, is I do feel like you're coming into a period of rest, because you're no longer holding on to the resistance of this connection or this situation. Yeah, the 5th house here. Passion, play, children, confidence, and creativity. Coming back into a very empowered state. 5th house also talks about leadership as well, even though it's not listed on this card. So again, coming into a place of leadership while also reaffirming your own internal confidence. Don't you know your life's changing, pile 3? Whoa, okay. We have Landa and Clarita. Life on Earth is a heroic journey. Mastering the visible and the earthly is just as important as mastering the invisible and the mystic. So you've mastered the invisible, you've mastered the mystic, but now it's about mastering the visible and what's physically in front of you. And that's been a challenge. You may have also resonated with another pile that got 2 white dragons. And I'm not going to say which pile it is, but you might have resonated with another pile. Also, for those of you that have chose to spend all 3 readings with me, which is truly a blessing, leave a purple heart down below and just say that I made it. I know what that means. You're part of the Purple Heart Club in that regards. And if you're just here for pile 3, you're as equally a big a blessing as those that spend the whole reading with me. And I'm honored to be sharing this with you today. And on the bottom, we have Serdwin and Baldwin with 22, trusting in the process. See the wonders around you and honor this incarnation. The here and now is a stage on which you will encounter and learn to love yourself. So yeah, a very clear message about learning to love yourself, learning to value and appreciate yourself, regardless if the people around you are loving and appreciate you. It doesn't matter how they feel about you. What matters is how you feel about you. We have the blue dragon from Pleiades. You may resonate with being a Pleiadian starseed. That's really strong, especially with this card. You may also, again, resonate with being Pisces or have Pisces highly aspect in your chart. It says, prepares you to accept source healing. Accept a heart activation. Give and receive heart healing. So yeah, this is healing matters of the heart. Look at this blue that's all together here. A deeper truth that's coming into light, and your conscious awareness. It's realizing you don't have to hold on to this heavy energy anymore, and it's seeing it for what it is, right? That's what I was feeling earlier, is this energy where you're no longer saying, well, they should have known better. You're understanding now that if they had known better, they would have shown up differently. And it's no longer trying to force these people or this person to take accountability for themselves, but rather asking yourself, how do I take accountability for myself in this difficult situation? On the bottom again. So isn't that crazy? We got a white and a blue angel or dragon from here. And then we got this white and blue on this dragon. It says, Archangel Gabriel's dragon brings purification. Self-discipline will speed ascension and bring joy. You can carry Archangel Gabriel's diamond around. Yeah, so all about clearing out the gunk and purifying yourself. He is also, Archangel Gabriel's symbol is the chalice. And so filling up your own cup is coming in with that. So a very clear message here today. The truth is, and has always been, about filling up your own cup. Don't you know your life's changing? Wow, okay. So you're going to get these. On the bottom of the deck, ooh, we have Earth. Stay grounded. Right, and sometimes this is hard. If you identify as a starseed, it's hard for you to stay grounded because you feel so comfortable being in the 5D and above. right? Again, with this card, life on earth is a heroic journey. Mastering the visible and the earthly is as important as the invisible and the mystic. So it's important for you to stay grounded, because staying grounded will help you to feel calmer and more connected with your purpose and your daily activities. And so not getting so lost in the metaphysical world, which is easy. And especially if you have a lot of 12th house or Piscean placements, or even a lot of water placements in your chart. So Cancer and Scorpio. And not even if you don't, like, you can absolutely be psychic, you can have intuitive gifts and still reside in the spiritual realm. That's real comfortable. But this is like triply so for those of you that have water placements highly aspect in your chart, especially if you have a water placement in the 12th house as well. And the thing is that it's when you feel that love from the divine, and you feel that love from your guides and your angels and the ones that help you along the journey, it's sometimes really hard to come back to this physical realm where you feel so dejected and rejected, right? And defeated. And what they're saying is that that's the process of life. Like, you went to life to experience this process. And one day you'll return back home to source. But right now it's about being grounded in this physical reality. And that will help. And so that's a really important message for you, pile 3. Don't you know your life's changing? What else would you like to tell pile number 3, source? Thank you. We'll get one more of these. Don't you know your life's changing? What else would you like to share with pile number 3, source? Okay, this one. On the bottom of the deck, we have redemption. I love this. We have hope, miracle, and a turning point. Yeah. So this is a part of your redemption. And it's not that you did anything wrong, right? It's just that you've been experiencing a lot of low energy recently. And I feel like there's just this huge turning point, and it really has to do with when you let go of holding on to this person or this situation and expecting them to know what they did wrong in your life. Like, even if you tell them what they did wrong in their life, like, they're not going to see it that way, because they don't see it that way. They just don't. There's no like trying to convince them to see it from your point of view. They saw it from their point of view. And if you can't understand their point of view, don't ever expect someone to understand your point of view. But also, instead of fighting for your point of view to be the right one, recognize that there is no right or wrong. There is only right or wrong for a person. That's it, for one person, right? So there's only right or wrong for you. There's only right or wrong for them. And that doesn't make your right their right, but also it doesn't make their right your right either, okay? And that's what Source is saying here. It's like, instead of holding on to, well, they need to take accountability, they need to get their crap together, they need to get themselves into a state of healing. Well, no one can force that onto another person, no matter how much you try to convince them that it's the best way to go, right? You can't force another person into that. Mars, move forward and defend self. This is all that matters, is you moving forward and defending yourself. Because the more you try to get this person to see from your point of view, the more resistance there is, and the more you feel exhausted. Ooh, we have Chiron, focus on healing. Yeah, this is, right? This is a part of your Chiron, the hurt and the heal, going from the wounded healer into the wounded warrior, stepping up in a very strong, powerful way. We have Ceres, which is another asteroid energy here. Reconnect with yourself. Yeah. The only thing that matters right now is healing and connecting with yourself. Gossip, rumor, speculation, and slander. This is probably one of the reasons that you're really upset about the situation, which is understandable, right? This person has things to say about you. They spread lies about you. They're, trying to get information from you just so that they can spin their own tale. Look, pile 3, it might seem like this person's winning. It might seem like that. And maybe for a while they are. But the truth always gets revealed. And if your main focus is on you, what you're doing, where you're going with your journey, one day your actions will speak far louder than this person's gossip. No matter how crazy of a tale they may have spun, what you have created in your life will become a glaring drumbeat that no one can ignore. And the people who believe this person will begin to question the validity of anything that this person has spoken. And you won't have to say a word. You won't have to defend yourself. You won't have to go and convince anybody, because the people who see the truth will see the truth. But it comes from you just focusing on yourself, okay? You don't deserve to have this happen in your life. As we said earlier, we cannot control the way another person shows up. So this is their choice. They're making their bed. One day, after they finish making it, they gotta lay in that. And it's kind of full of crap and spikes and broken glass and a lot of really unpleasant stuff. One day they're gonna have to lie in it. And you don't have to. Yeah, coming back to a state of peace. Harmony, order, calmness, and serenity. This is peace within. Inner peace is my goal. Okay, so let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. Let's see what this says. Balanced emotions. Yeah, coming into a state of harmony. Okay. This person has had such an impact on you because you've been so emotionally connected with them. And that's not bad. That's human of us, right? That is human of us. But you're no longer letting your emotions get the better of you in this situation. But rather asking yourself, is this worth my time? Is this worth my effort? Is this worth my energy? And you're going to be choosing yourself much, much more. And your life is going to be positively impacted in it. You're also going to gain a lot more vitality. But I think the main thing here that you should focus on and be excited about is that peace is going to be a constant for you moving forward, where you're going to be internally peaceful no matter what's going on around you. It says jellyfish are graceful creatures that trust the ocean currents to take them to their destination. Take a moment to evaluate the way you spend your energy. Sometimes we cannot see the grand picture and get caught up in the moment. If we are unable to see the lesson a situation is teaching us, we can get entangled in our emotions and the need for control. Are you holding on too tightly to the feelings that don't serve you well? It's easier to see the solution when you feel calmer. Find a peaceful place in your home or outside where you can spend some time allowing your emotions to exist without judgment. Take a breath, acknowledge them, and let go of those that no longer support you. Use this card when you need to step back to rebalance your position. Keep your talisman close when you are around triggers that activate you more than usual, whether that's a person, a place, or a memory. Envision the jellyfish's peaceful flow and existence every time you find yourself circling back to negative feelings. Be mindful not to suppress this energy because it could erupt. Instead, try to observe patiently and find your balance. The affirmation is, I am gentle with my feelings. And you're on page number 22. Trust the process. So, and you got number 22 on the bottom here. So 2222. Okay, trust the process. Trust what's happening. Trust the flow of life. Things are working out for you as they're meant to. And have faith that everything's going to work out for your highest good. Okay? I'm sorry that you have to deal with energy like this, but remember that you are so much more powerful than you give yourself credit for. This is what I see here for you today, pile number 3. If you felt like this was your message, leave the little coffee cup emoji down below and say, I choose not to let what others say about me get me down. I instead turn inward and focus on what I want to create, knowing that my truth will speak louder than any words they could ever say. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. So with that, I would like to take this moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very powerful message. And until next time, pile number 3, stay human. Bye.